Hi, I'm Ashley from SoCo Realty. I love talking about customer service, and I love the human psyche, surrounding it. And I did a blog last night with regards to customer service and an analogy that I use quite often with my clients, and that is the glass half full. So if you haven't read my blog, I'm just going to explain it because I like explaining it. You start a relationship. So now this can actually be personal, relationships, friendships, client relationships. It works for all relationships you have, family, the whole lot. And so let's just use the client relationship as the example today. And that is when you first get a client, you go into the relationship and the glass is half full. And your job as the person providing the service is to not only maintain that, but to give yourself a little bit of extra give as well. So, for example, just that little bit over and above. So, making sure that you do that so that you can top your glass up. Because then what happens is there will be a time that, due to human error, maybe we don't return a phone call within 24 hours, or it could be anything. And that glass of water that you filled up maybe to now 3/4 is going to drop a little bit. But the interesting thing is that because you've already topped it up, it doesn't matter if you make these little mistakes. Your glass is still half full. Your client relationship is still healthy. But if you, as a property manager only, or any industry really, just meet the client's expectations and you're always at the halfway mark, and then you don't return that phone call within 24 hours, it drops. And the minute you get under that half glass full, you're in trouble, and everything else is so sensitive and it's a really big deal. And the other interesting thing, and I just get a bit passionate about it because I find it so interesting. The other interesting thing is that everyone's very different with regards to what their expectations are and what impresses them and what doesn't impress them. And I like to use an example of, I could go into a clothes shop. Let's say I'm going to go buy some jeans. And I go in there and there's a really, young, active sales rep, and she comes over and, oh, really, good to see you. What are you looking for? Let me help you. Let me find a few examples. And I might find that fabulous. Like, that's exactly what I want. I want someone just to pull out a few clothes for me, stick them in the change rooms, let me try them on. But another person could go into that clothes shop to go get jeans, and they could actually find that annoying. And they just want to be left alone, just want to look for their pair of jeans by themselves and don't want to have any interaction. So I don't find that good customer service, but that person might find that good customer service. So it's so interesting to really find out what your client likes. And I've got some clients that like to be called for every bit of maintenance, and they want 3 quotes, and they really want that that interaction. And then I've got other clients where you would call them up and they would actually, and this has happened to me before, true story, yelled at me and said, I pay you a management fee, do not bother me again for these plumbing issues. And I thought I was doing the right thing, but they were super pissed off at me. So note on the file straight away, do not call for maintenance, just do it. So it's so, like, it's just so interesting, and I love the glass half full or the glass half full analogy, and going into personal relationships as well. And I was speaking to my friend Rob today, I love to do a little quirky thing on my videos because I actually don't think a lot of people watch them. So in my personal relationship, he's on LinkedIn. I don't think he watches my videos, and if he does, you know what, he can stick a "Hey babe" in the comments for me, just to humour me, so I know that he watches it. But we spoke about this analogy when we first started dating, and it works really well for us. And every now and then he will say to me, Ash, how's my glass looking? And a funny story, I said to him once, he goes, oh, is it overflowing? We're having a bit of a laugh about it. And I said, you know what, it's probably like 7/8 or something. And he goes, you know what, Ash, you got to go in quarters. Like, you can't start making up your own fractions. So now for us, it's a half, 3/4, or overflowing. They're the only levels of the cup, and none of this, 7/8 or, whatever I was making up at the time. So that works really well with us. And it's a very simple way of communicating, and at the end of the day, and I think he actually had said this to me once, said, there are going to be times that I do something that is going to drop my glass. And you know, your job is to, everyone's job in all relationships is just to continually exceed those expectations just a little bit. And you know, when something does happen and you do you know, slip up a little bit, you've always got that little buffer. So I hope, you know, when you're going in and treating, you know, talking to customers, you can just have that, because I honestly, like, for me, it's always in the back of my mind, and I love talking about it and assessing, you know, customer service like that. So I think it's just a simple way of doing it, and it's an analogy that can be used in any industry as well. So that was like a little rant. I was thinking of putting it into a podcast actually, and doing a podcast, but I think it's a bit more effort. So I'm doing a video. So what's it? 6-minute video, not too bad. So yeah, interesting. That's really all I've got to say today. It's Friday afternoon. I've gone and had my my haircut, and you know, people that know me and follow me know that I like to you know, have a little chat. Hope you're all doing well. My property manager friends, we're all really busy. Everyone I speak to today, I went and spoke to a friend today. Everyone's busy. New management's good. Leasing's good. And you know what I'm getting a lot of though? I'm getting a lot of marketing phone calls. Like, there must be businesses hurting at the moment. A lot of tradies calling up wanting work and wanting your business. I had a guy call me the other day, and I was like, you know what, I said I'm really happy, and he was really quite forceful, like, you know, well, can we just do a face-to-face appointment? Yeah, no, I'm wasting your time if we do. Yeah, a lot of people sort of coming out of the woodwork and really getting onto the BDM side of their businesses, not like necessarily real estate, but yeah, so I did some training again this morning, my Friday morning training with Elite Agent. And we had Ellen from the Rent Roll Starter do a webinar, and she was great. So she's right into videos. I don't know if she'll watch this one. If you do, Ellen, put a little comment below so I know you just saw me. But I'll give Ellen, I didn't actually know this about her, but for any startups, property management, rent roll startups, she actually specializes in 0 to 50 you know, 0 to 50 properties, the rent roll size. So like really small ones, which I actually didn't know. I think that's really cool. And she had some really great ideas for like making sure you get Insta stories, videos and stuff like that. So I do my Insta stories. For those that don't follow me on Instagram, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit different, but Perth Property Manager. And it is actually my personal Instagram, but it's also for sort of property managers as well, and I like to have a bit of you know, put a bit of creativity and humour in those posts, if it interests you. But anyway, yeah, she was really cool. So I might work on some of that this week. So any property managers that aren't following her, yeah, on Instagram definitely. So that's Ellen from the Rent. Oh God, what did I say it was? I can't remember. Whatever I said before, about 5 minutes ago. And yeah, she's a good one to follow. So anyway, I'm just ranting on now. So I'll catch you all next week with more videos. Have a great weekend, and yeah, that's it for me.